Music executive, founder, and CEO of the Luxury Group, successful management firm of producers, writers, creators, and also the president of the hugely successful 1501 Entertainment label as well. Growing up, I grew up in Jersey, so 13, 14 years old, I had a relationship with a really cool friend of mine at the time. His name was Justin Smith. His dad, was the lead bass player in Kool and the Gang, which was Clayton Smith. Whom, of course, they made a lot of success, a lot of money, and, had studios in their house and everything. And, of course, my mom had a house in the neighborhood as well, too. So that's how him and I met growing up together. The second prong to the Kool and the Gang story is I got a godmother who was really good friends with my mom. I call her my godmother, Sakina. She's married to Robert Bell, whom is Kool from Kool and the Gang. Kool, his son, Hakeem Bell and Muhammad Bell, were my entry for real into the major label business, because Muhammad Bell back in '93 was running a division in Sony, and myself and Justin Smith had a pending record deal with Sony, so we were consistently working on music. So big shout out to Hakeem Bell too, now Prince Hakeem. I never had the opportunity to sit in a Kool and the Gang session, so I can't say that, you know what I mean? But at the time, I had the opportunity to be in the studios that they had recorded in, and had made records out of, so that was just as important to feel that energy, back then, because I was an artist in that moment. So, I wanted to feel all the artistic, creative energy that might come off the walls, and maybe it just rub off on me, which it did, and give me that inertia to say, hey, this is what I want to do, this is what I'm going to do, and I want to do my best to be the best at it. So everybody has the same opportunity. And I say that because so many individuals will say, oh, I don't have this opportunity to do this, or they're not letting me in this, or look, it's not that. You know what I mean? It's like, I feel it's your drive. I know people from Timbuktu or Oklahoma where there's no music or record business, and they make it. Why? Because they're determined. Just to be determined or not to be determined. I think that would be kind of the contrast. I want to make a tall story midget, right? I got into the record label business, of course, when I was a younger child, and I wanted to do it because my mom had a best friend and still has a best friend, Christine. Christine has a daughter named Misa, and they lived in Mount Vernon. They were from Mount Vernon, New York, and I would spend, countless weeks there on end in the summer. And, Misa ended up having, relations and a child by Sean Puff Daddy Combs. Then was like a big thing to me, because I ended up attending a baby shower for Justin, which, Justin was being, Misa for Justin. And, it was crazy because it was the first time I met Mary J. Blige. Was there. I was like the only kid there, the only guy there, you know what I mean, or whatever. It was all women. I didn't want to go at first because I was like, man, Mom's going to be all women there. I don't want to go. But Mary J. Blige is going to be there. I heard, the girl that said, you remind me, Mom, can you get a kiss and napkin for me? This is when I was a kid, and I was like, I like Mary J. Blige. And this guy named Puff Daddy, we were in Jersey. Naughty by Nature, Artifacts, Whitney Houston, all these people were so popular out of Jersey. We wasn't really looking at New York. So we didn't know who Puff Daddy was like that, at the time. And man, it was such an inspiration to be able to see Jodeci plaques and, Albie Shore plaques and all these plaques on the wall in this house. And I was like, man, studio here, I didn't meet Puff yet. But, I'm just walking around and I'm seeing this bad boy music, strictly ghetto music. I'm looking at the conference room in there. I'm like, damn. They were just starting out because he was still at Uptown. And I said, man, look at this right here. Man, this is really what I wanted. Like, they were watching VHS tapes with people sending demo tapes in, and we were judging it. And I was looking at it like, wow. Like, this is what I really want to do. Now, how am I going to pursue that? I went to Cornell when I left high school. When I left Cornell, I got my parents' blessing to go to Five Towns College in Long Island and study audio theory and also as well as business administration. So I was getting both sides of the coin. And, with my experience in the studio, I knew about omnidirectional mics and, SSL boards and phantom boards because I was recording at a young age. I was spending time in the studio at a young age. So it was like I had all the answers when I was, and I loved the school. It was really, really cool. And like from there, I got an internship at Motown. That's where I kind of really got into the music business. But Shareem, actually, my guy that's walking around here right now, responsible for the event, who brought me the water, he introduced me to Diamond D. When he introduced me to Diamond D, digging in the crates, and I was like, wow, like, we started running around everywhere together, you know what I mean, or whatever. He keeps taking me through all the labels, and I'm looking at things like, wow, this is what I like, because I had only been to Bad Boy before. I had never been to other record labels, you know what I mean, besides seeing a Motown or whatever, and now I'm looking at Priority Records. I'm over here at Def Jam. And, it was just, it was an amazing thing. So that's how I got into business. That's kind of my story of how I got in the business, and I got an opportunity, to work on the Training Day soundtrack with Diamond D, and the Teamsters and Knots, production crew, and, Crumb Snatcher, MOP, The Locks, and I participated on the Sound Bombing project with Raucous Records. Man, so much, just going through the stages of when I was younger, coming up, you know what I mean? That was my main nucleus starting off in the business. I can go there, I can tell you, my prime, I spent my prime with Lauryn Hill at Chung King Studios recording doo-wop, you know what I mean, with my prom date, you know what I mean? I can go into certain pockets like that. I was there when Black Rob got signed. That might have been 94. It might have been, 93, 94, Black Rob got signed, and I was there. I was there when he came to rap for Puff. And I was like, oh, this is it. This is what I want to do. I was like, man, look at this dude rapping his lights out. I love this. And that's what it's like, kind of my button to say, hey, what made you want to get in the music business? That was it. This is your boy, Tyler. You're watching TAAN TV, the African American Network, where we have